Welcome to another episode of Was It Good? Today we are talking Venom, Let There Be Carnage, the new Sony in association with Marvel film, if we want to call it a film. I'm Ravi, as always, joined by Christian Arjuna, and Mr. Michael is over on the producer table. Guys, before we get into one-word impressions and making this the fastest pod on a Marvel property that we've ever done, let me just ask you guys a quick question. How did you get through that movie?
So for me, this is my second time seeing the movie, and what actually helped me, what was more interesting to me than the movie, was observing the three people that I saw with you two and our producer Michael, and just seeing how you reacted to the moments that I reacted to, the really bad lines, the nonsensical plot, literally everything that was cringeworthy about the movie. That's actually what I was watching.
Wow, you were watching us watch the movie.
Mm-hmm. It was more of like a performative art.
Very creepy.
That was what I was interested
Now we
in.
know who watches the Watchers.
Yeah, we do. It's Arjuna.
June does.
How did I get through it?
Yeah.
You know, I just let my mind go blank.
Nice.
I put myself into a stupor,
Yep.
a trance, if you will.
Were you practicing meditation?
Honestly, I think meditating, the practice of meditation would definitely help with a movie like this. Let your mind go blank and just
Stare at it?
just kind of turn off your judging mind and go to sleep. Let your thoughts die.
In terms of thoughts
And hope.
and overall viewing experience, do you guys have a one-word impression to kind of...
Who wants to go first?
I mean, Christian, you said you wanted... You sound like you're prepared. As always, I'm never prepared for this. So.
This is my word coming out of the theater, and I'll try to be more optimistic. I just can't. My one word is dog shit.
Is dog shit one word?
I'm good. Why not? Yeah. If you write it all, it looks like it should be.
Dogs hit.
Wow, dogs hit. Yeah.
Yo, bro, those dogs, they hit.
Yeah. It was dog shit. I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Pretty terrible movie. I think it might be the worst movie we've seen this year.
2021?
2021?
Yeah.
I have a running list on my phone.
Oh, we should definitely break that
all
up
the
later.
movies that I ranked. I see that come out the year of their release, and this is at the bottom.
This was worse than Wonder Woman, the second one.
Oh, shit. That came out this year, didn't it?
Well, technically, it came out at the end of last year.
It was December, right? It was a December release.
Oh, okay. So then we can.
So
So
you
this is
have to-
easily the worst one. Yeah. But dog shit. It was
this
terrible.
So let's break that, or let's add some context, though, because context is always super important.
It was a bad movie.
This movie, theaters had the movie out, Thursday.
Yes.
Big full during the day release Friday. We were seeing it on Saturday.
Yep.
There's this social platform called TikTok, which has a problem where they contain, unfortunately, leaks on movies and TV shows.
Spoilers galore.
Tons of spoilers. I was unfortunately on TikTok, and I actually saw the end credit scene because somebody had pulled out their phone, started video, and then uploaded the whole thing. And before you could really understand what's going on, because unfortunately, this individual. The end credit scene, spoilers obviously, the end credit scene is Venom. The big piece is Venom sees Tom Holland on the television screen. So this person had what they had done was they had basically cut it so that it started with the shot of Venom and then Tom Holland. So as soon as you get onto that screen, the first thing you see is that.
The most asshole move.
Oh, biggest asshole move ever. Yeah. So
There was a football player. What was his name?
He
spoiled the end game ending, and people hated him.
He doubled down too.
Yeah,
and
he
didn't delete it. He didn't shut up about it.
I forget who it was, but
and it was night of or something.
It was pretty close to the release.
That's not why it was dog shit.
Right,
The movie was dog shit because it was dog shit.
Well, but because of that, and then I obviously decided to just look at some of the reviews. Everyone was saying you go and see this movie for the ending. Do you think though, going into the movie, because you knew that there was an interesting end scene, and then everything else was just a Venom movie?
No, it was still dog shit.
Still dog shit.
I think even if I hadn't known the ending, it's still a terrible movie.
Yeah. So I got
it was painful.
I got to see the movie before you guys did, and I had no knowledge of there being what the end credit scene was or what was going to happen, and we're going to get into that obviously soon. Spoilers ahead, but no, it was pretty bad. I just went in with no.
Can we name a couple of things? Let's break it down from a film standpoint.
Oh my god!
Let's talk about the story and in terms of the flow How do you think? Give that a score out of 10.
Oh man,
Can we do negatives?
I mean,
Negative Venom.
I mean, it's like the good. I don't know. It's like the story wasn't interesting.
No,
The acting was poor.
very.
There are many things that don't make
The
sense.
CGI, it wasn't great. Yeah, it wasn't good. Yeah, it was not good.
This actually
it was too loud and so the sound seemed kind of.
This
Maybe it was just
the
me,
first
but it seemed
Venom,
off too.
I think, and this one also has the exact same problem. The dialogue between Venom and Eddie is sometimes difficult going
To
back and forth
understand.
because of how Venom sounds, and then how quiet and whispery Eddie or Tom Hardy gets, where it's like stop it, and then Venom's very very loud. So I feel you're the same thing. That definitely happened there.
Yeah,
I will say this though.
it's just boring. It's a
The
boring
one
movie, too.
the one positive of this film.
Oh, that was a positive.
This is by now the worst superhero CGI I've ever seen in a film.
Worse than Black Panther.
Worse than Black Panther. So this movie has dethroned Black Panther as having some
Worse
of the
than
worst.
Black Widow's fire.
Definitely worse than Black Widow's Fire.
Oh, all these movies. Never mind.
What were we gonna say, Krishna? Go ahead, Krishna.
No.
Oh, geez, we got a cat and a dog in the studio.
Yeah, they don't want me to say it, so I'm not going to.
Oh, yep. Ripley was telling you to stop.
Yep.
Anywho, Arjuna, your one-word impression for "Let There Be Carnage," Venom's origin story.
Journalism.
No. No, please, no.
No, I mean, the movie is horrifically bad in just about every single part. But my word will be journalism because, obviously, Eddie is a quote unquote journalist within this movie, and it's just funny.
An investigative reporter.
It's funny how much of a journalist he is not throughout the movie. It's also interesting, I think, looking at it from a meta standpoint of like the journalism around this movie. There's obviously a lot of press. There's a lot of quotes that were coming out from Andy Serkis and Tom Hardy before this movie. There was, Rotten Tomatoes, something that we reference on this show a lot. Had some early reviews of this, and it actually had a score up that I want to discuss with you guys.
Tell us.
So real quick, right off the bat, the first Venom movie got a. What do you think the first Venom movie on Rotten Tomatoes?
69.
52.
It got a 30. First Venom movie got a 30.
This is critics or fans?
This is the critics.
Critics score. Okay.
So 30%.
30%.
This movie,
Oh, no.
what do you guys think this one got? If the first one got a 30%, what do you think?
The world doesn't make sense anymore, so I'm going to say
Yeah.
65.
Yeah. I'm going to say 52.
Close. As of right now, the recording of this taping is at a 59%.
It should be a 4.
What the fuck?
went
Is there,
up and-
out of those like positive reviews, is there anything that stood out in terms of why someone would give it a
Here's the theory I have. I think Sony and the production team behind this movie gave a lot of press time, and why I say journalism, a lot of press time to a lot of critics. When you get that face time,
Right.
you are less likely to be critical of a movie. And that's what I see here, because a
Don't
lot
wanna
of
burn bridges.
a lot of the reviews are like, this movie is stupid, but it takes itself in that way, and therefore it is entertaining. That is the consensus on Rotten Tomatoes.
That is
through
a
lot of
genius.
reviews.
That is a genius review.
And there was even an interview that Tom Hardy did where they talked about the first Venom movie, and he's like, "Yeah, the critics hated it, but the fans liked it. It made money." And
What
he's like,
fan?
I mean,
it made
$800
how much
plus
money?
million
$800
dollars.
million?
Opening about
Somebody
80
was paying
million.
for it.
So there are fans of this movie.
I would
this
love
movie
to
series.
meet like a Venom stand.
I mean, we reviewed the first Venom on this podcast, and Christian was borderline yes. He was talked down to a no by the two of us. But he was like-
Did I actually say no?
You said no at the
Wow,
end,
wow,
but
wow.
you
That
were-
means we did our job.
we did our job.
Yeah.
And Christian was like, I was entertained. I liked the movie.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
liked
Don't
the
get me
first
wrong.
one.
Like if you compare just those two movies, the first one is miles ahead better.
This almost makes me want to go back, watch the first one, and
Yeah.
be like, remember the good old days.
yeah, exactly,
You know?
exactly.
It's like, oh my god.
But yeah, I think there is some shady journalism a little bit, and just in terms of like,
love it.
I think journalism and I think film critics, the being critical of films is in a very different spot in 2021 than it has been before and in previous times. And I think what they did kind of raised the stature of this movie. And I wonder, people do look at some of that critical score stuff, and that does affect the box office and whatnot. So I think they did a good job of selling this movie. And
well, I mean, they had obviously I love just mindlessly watching YouTube, and a lot of like the top trending videos for the last couple of days have been Tom Hardy, Andy Serkis, like interviews, like on The Wired.
Yep.
Like, what do people search for? Like all those those more fun, interesting interview style things. It's been a ton of that. But then there's also, in terms of movies and whatnot, James Bond has been getting a lot of those types of things as well, which makes me now kind of curious. Like, based on your theory, does that mean the latest James Bond's going to be a hot pile of shit?
The latest, the James Bond movie is almost 3 hours long, so
I'm not seeing that.
they need the press for people to get through it.
God.
This movie was a tight 90 though. This was
Hour 37 runtime.
It felt like 2 and a
It
half
felt for
hours.
fucking ever.
Well,
I was
but
like,
imagine if
good
it was
Lord.
like, a lot of superhero movies are around 2 hours.
I might have walked
Imagine
out.
if it was 2 hours.
I might have walked
How
out.
painful it would have been.
Like,
Thank you, Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis directed the first one, right?
He did not.
Okay.
He came on for the second one. The other movie, he's directed, I think, a few movies. The other
The
movie,
King Kong movie?
the King Kong movie?
Did
That was
he
Peter Jackson that did the 05 King Kong.
Not the 05 one, the other one.
I don't know if that was him. I know he
I
directed.
thought he was in it.
He directed that Jungle Book movie that came out on Netflix.
I think that's what I'm
Which
getting
is
confused
Mowgli.
with. Yeah.
Yeah, which was okay.
Jungle
yeah,
movies
that
confused me.
wasn't terrible.
It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great, but yeah, he as our producer said as we were walking out, he said Andy Serkis better performer than he is director.
Yes.
Tom Hardy, better actor when he isn't writing his own material.
He was a producer. He was a
Wait, you think he wrote his
proper
own
producer
lines?
on the.
It also says story by Tom Hardy and
Hardy.
somebody
Oh,
else.
no.
So yeah, I think he's better at acting when someone else writes for him.
Mad Max.
Yeah. Inception. He had that 5 lines.
Oh, he was
Mowgli,
great in
Legend of the Jungle was Circus. Yes, according to our producer. Ravi, what's your one-word impression?
Is it Mowgli?
Pointless.
Oh man. Wait, you talking about the movie?
Just everything in general.
Nice.
But specific to this movie, the movie was pretty pointless. It doesn't really. It failed on the core thing that any film is supposed to do. It's supposed to entertain you.
Yes.
A movie is escapism. It's supposed to make you feel all of that. Didn't happen. It was more of a, can we just please hurry up? Because I know there's an interesting end scene, end credit scene or whatever. And then the thing I was waiting for wasn't that fucking interesting.
Do you think Sony leaked the end credit scene themselves?
Did I tell you it was on the Sony TikTok account?
Was it?
No, it was.
Oh man. That'd be
Well, I
awesome.
mean, it would. I mean, that would drum up interest.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, of like, all right, I gotta go see this movie now.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I would be curious, like, if you're the thing Sony, the production distribution house, whatever. Like, who within that realm? Like, is it somebody on the financial side that's like, "Hey, boss, I've got an idea. Have you heard about leaks on TikTok?"
marketing, right? It would have to be
Maybe it's somebody in marketing. If it's like, you're supposed to hit a certain box office number, potentially.
Tom Holland is known for his leaks. It's kind of
Tom Holland
Oh,
wanted
Tom
it
Holland
to-
was the one. He's like, I'm in the movie.
Oh, no, but maybe they're like, oh, well, it worked for that Spider-Man, so maybe it'll work for Venom.
Yeah, which it has.
I mean,
For all intents and
was it No Way Home? No. Yeah, Far From Home.
The second one or the one that's coming
The
out
one that's coming out.
is No Way Home.
I'm going to get that confused.
Yeah, same.
Many, many times.
Same.
And
It's
that's
Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home,
fine. Wow.
Homecoming.
You got Tom on the mind?
And the fourth one will be Homeward Bound.
Homeward Bound.
Yeah.
There you go.
allegedly
With
there won't be a
dogs.
fourth one.
Sorry?
Allegedly, there won't be a fourth one.
Oh, because he will be dead.
No, because the contract is up, and
Which one? Which contract?
the
Tom
Marvel,
Holland.
the Marvel
Oh.
Sony contract is up after the third Spider-Man movie.
So Sony wouldn't make a fourth one?
They'll
Or they
reboot it.
couldn't?
They'll reboot.
They'll have to reboot it with
Yep.
Tobey Maguire.
Yep.
And that's why they're bringing him back. They're bringing back Andrew Garfield. So when the contract ends, they put them back in the consciousness of the people so that they can just make more Spider-Man movies with those.
They're like, wait, we are going to sign all of them and make 3 different lines of Spider-Man.
yeah, why not?
I mean, it works, I
Why
think.
wouldn't they?
Does it work? It doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
But anyway, let's continue here because
Oh wow.
to continue this very positive driven podcast on Venom Let There Be Carnage, we have again
dog shit.
asked Arjuna to
Do the impossible.
do the impossible, truly the impossible in this case, and come up with a DVD chapter listing of this movie. And Christian, as always, is going to read it. And of course, Christian is going to do it in his best Eddie voice.
Eddie or Venom?
Eddie Brock.
What?
You gotta sound like
Enjoy.
a squirrely.
You gotta sound like you're a
Australian
meth
man
addict.
trying to do like a San Francisco.
Yeah.
accent.
Oh, come on, Venom. That's terrible. All right, Arjuna's DVD chapter listing.
In the tune of Eddie Brock.
Eddie Brock. Dub versus Sub. No, that doesn't sound like him at all. The famous Eddie Brock.
Okay, do it in a Venom voice.
Oh, thank God. Wait,
Yeah, start again.
Yeah, we'll start again. And, hello, Eddie.
There you go.
Dub versus Sub.
Well, that's pretty good.
The famous Eddie Brock. Carney bit my finger. I am Venom and I am proud. Hacking the internet. My girlfriend is killing me. Reunited, and it feels so good. That's bad journalism. Who the fuck is this cop guy? Getting that fuzzy feeling when you lick a TV screen.
Have you guys licked a TV screen before?
Bro, when I was a kid.
Is that a
yeah.
thing?
Like an old CRT?
Yeah, you get like the little fuzz. It's like if you like lick.
You
a
get like an
battery.
actual static
Yeah.
shock. It's very dangerous.
I've never tried that.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy you a CRT tube TV and have you lick
Yeah,
it
I remember licking a tube TV
while
when I was,
plugged
like-
in.
like 4.
Yeah.
I've
They can
never
explode.
heard that before.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Holy
Good old
shit.
times.
That's pretty. It's a pretty on point DVD chapter listing.
It's short.
Carney bit my finger. Which one was that?
That's when literally Cletus bites Eddie's finger.
It's
and
not his
gets-
finger. He bit into his hand.
Yeah, but,
Yeah,
but,
finger,
but,
hand.
That's
but-
no. This is
gives
not
a-
this
okay,
is
but it's a play on.
chunky.
It's a,
As
it's a-
Venom would say,
it's
who
a-
gives a fuck?
It's a
That's
play on.
scapula.
It's a play on Charlie bit my finger.
Yeah.
Carney bit my finger.
Right.
I don't
close
like-
enough.
No, that's my one. Because of that, I'm failing you.
Wow.
You get a 52%.
You never get the genius of my DVD checklist.
Arjuna, you literally
It's
write these on the
true
toilet like maybe an hour before
genius.
this.
Which is what makes it genius.
Maybe.
It's true. Like this
Maybe.
is. This is.
Yeah, she was driving over here and he was like, I gotta come over with the DVD
This one
chapter. I
I
was like,
actually wrote as Christian was reading it.
wow, that would
That's
be
how good I
impressive.
was.
That was
That's
wow.
Weird, very weird.
It's pretty good. It's nice and short, just like the movie.
Yeah, it's good enough. Just like the movie.
Yeah, just like the movie.
No, it's better than the movie.
Probably better than the movie.
And just like Christian's performance of his Venom voice.
It
reading
makes
it
me
was-
want to watch
was
the
more
movie,
fun.
but then I remember the movie is hot shit, so then I don't want to watch the movie.
Well, you have my DVD chapter listing to get you through it.
Or you just read the DVD chapter listing and then just don't bother.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You know the movie after you read my chapter listing.
Yeah.
You're
Very
welcome.
fair, true. So here, before we let's our big talking point here is obviously going to be the after credit scene.
Did something
Yes.
happen there?
Something happened there, but before we get into that, the movie itself, Sony put it out. Yay! They had a first one, now they did a second one. There is maybe one thing in the actual movie that potentially sets up a third movie where the cop who we thought was hanged and killed brutally, his eyes open back up and there's fresh breath coming out of him. His eyes are all
And he's talking about
Blue.
the monsters.
He looks like a White Walker.
yeah, it kind of looks like a White Walker with his eyes anyway. I as we were leaving the theater, I said this to you all. Like in most superhero movies or sci-fi, if there's something like that, I would jump on the Googles and start checking it out. I couldn't be bothered with this. Did anybody here look into that at all?
No.
Does anyone actually want to or care to?
No.
I actually think it might be connected to some of Sony's other movies, maybe like Morbius.
That's what I was thinking.
That's the feeling I get. Like
Maybe he's a vampire now.
it just everything in the movie still feels so random. You know what I'm saying? So I
pointless.
wouldn't be surprised if that character is never seen again.
See, and this is going to be my transition into the end credit scene. And before we get there, I want to bring up another network and franchise, DC, specifically the CW shows.
Oh yeah.
And Arjuna is a huge connoisseur librarian, historian, encyclopedia of knowledge when it comes to the CW shows. They obviously had the Arrow show, The Flash, Supergirl, Thunderbolt,
Black Lightning.
Black Lightning. All these shows, and they were all happening on different universes. Then they had a big event, and then they merged everyone into just one universe, correct?
Yeah.
And the way I saw the end scene in Venom and how Venom, There Be Carnage, and how the movie kind of ended, where Venom and Eddie Brock are now being hunted, right? They don't really have a life anymore, right? They even say, what are we going to do now? Who knows? And the fact that...
They're going to be the lethal protector.
Lethal protector, right. But the fact that the end scene suggests that they are now on the Prime Earth, or the Earth with the Tom Holland version of the MCU Earth, to me, I thought that was a way where, okay, you've ended this Venom in the Sony, whatever the fuck those two movies were. But then you have, like, again, that scene with weird cop guy getting blue eyes, and it's like...
Our producer said, according to the internet, I would assume, in some research, he could be the character Toxin. And Toxin is Carnage's, basically, symbiote son, as Venom is, or Carnage's Venom's symbiote son. So it's basically Venom's grandson.
Wow. Beautiful.
Wow.
So they're going to go from the villain being a symbiote to the villain being a symbiote to the villain being a symbiote.
I'm sensing a pattern. I don't know what it is yet, but there's a pattern.
How would... Either way, that brings us to the end scene.
yeah. I'm like, I know. I'm like trying to muscle up the energy, be like, Venom 3, and I just can't.
But
do it.
it is interesting because it almost feels like that after credit scene eliminates the entire point of the movie. Of like,
Yeah.
does it matter? Not really. Like, if this is where you're going with it.
Well, I guess the only thing you could say is if Toxin truly is going to be a thing, then Venom's not going to stay in the Prime universe. He's probably going to end up figuring out how to go back.
Or they're all
so
going
there
to
can
merge
be a
into
Venom
one.
3.
One universe or something.
Yeah.
They're going the CW route.
Oh, God.
Maybe.
It sounds messy.
Well, that's the other thing too with these movies. They are a mess in the sense. No, seriously, especially with the Marvel stuff and how Marvel set everything up, decades ago, where they sold off these characters to these studios to this, and made these complicated ass, contracts for people like
Very short-sighted.
people not us, right? So the majority of human beings on this planet that want to go and be entertained by a movie. You're going to look at this stuff and this end scene stuff and just be like, what the fuck is happening, right? And I think by doing that, you end up like isolating, some people where they just don't care to follow up and check into it. And then I can't have a conversation with those people. So really, I get isolated.
It also feels like an overpromise too, right? Because now if Venom doesn't show up
Yeah.
in No Way Home...
Yeah.
What was the fucking point?
And or Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
And
then it's also like,
Loki
okay,
season
but what does that
2,
look like?
and or
Is he a villain in the movie? Is it a cameo? Is it an end credit scene?
And remember,
is
Venom
he co-starring?
Well,
Who the fuck knows?
well, hold on. There's a couple other things too with the end scene where before there's this whole weird, wacky change and very bad CGI, and he's now in a nice hotel room on a beach or something. Before that whole thing happens, Venom says to Eddie Brock, "Hey, I've been around, or I know, or I have the knowledge of like 82 billion light years worth of knowledge," which I don't even understand how that is because light years is a form of travel or distance, not wealth of whatever. But he also says multiverse, multiple universes. Yeah. And then when we are in, or what we expect is the main Earth, he sees Tom Holland's Peter Parker, or says that guy, and then licks the screen, which makes me wonder, does that mean Venom, the symbiote, knows of this character or this thing known as Spider-Man?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the impression, at least. Or, maybe he's just into him.
Well, I think somebody said, this is maybe a little interesting. He says that the symbiotes, they can communicate or they have information across all the dimensions. So I think it was you or maybe our producer who said like maybe he's communicated or has information from Topher Grace's Venom, and so that information is aware of Spider-Man, and he's seeing this version of Spider-Man Peter Parker, and it's like, oh, this feels familiar, and he's delicious, I guess.
That would actually be kind of cool if all of the Venoms are able to communicate or share like a shared consciousness.
Well, that's what they say. It's a hive mind,
It's
right?
a hive-
so
he
then-
says
So does that mean?
The
Wait, let's
symbiotes-
get crazier here. Does that mean the 1990s animated Spider-Man
Why the fuck not?
series with Venom, right? Could show up. Like, how cool would that? That's X-Men, Arjuna.
Oh, right, you're right.
I mean, that X-Men
but
is
that
part
X-Men
of.
is- yeah,
they're on the same. They're in that
communicating
animated
all the
universe.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As our producer pointed out, Venom is part of the Sinister Six, and a lot of the villains that have showed up in the Spider-Man trailer have been members of the Sinister Six.
We only saw 2 villains in that trailer.
Well, you could say you've seen up to 4.
In the trailer?
You see, there's
Oh,
a
yeah,
potential
yeah.
Sandman, Electro.
Wait, how do you
Where
see
was
Sandman?
Electro and Sandman are in the same.
In like
shot.
there's a sand thing, and
In
then there's
the
lightning
background,
coming
and
up.
then there's lightning.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was just global warming.
Yeah,
That's what you could say Sandman and Electro are.
Isn't
Maybe
there a
it's-
movie coming out called Sandman?
Mysterio.
I thought I saw there or
don't
something. I'm yeah.
Maybe you're making that
Mysterio.
up.
No, I could have sworn I saw a trailer for like yesterday.
But then you also see obviously Goblin. You see
well, you see a goblin ball. You don't see a goblin.
you hear
You
the
hear
go-
it
yeah,
laugh,
so it's
yeah.
implied. You see Doc Ock, and then also that some people think you potentially see the lizard. There's a shot where Tom Holland is in a suit, and there's like a growl behind him, and he kind of jumps, and it's some type of a figure masked in darkness. But some people think it's maybe
Lizard.
it's
Doc Ock.
it's the lizard from the Andrew Garfield movies.
Nice.
From the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, you gotta get villains from all 3 phases.
Well, you do. You have Jamie Foxx's Electro.
Right.
You have Alfred Molina's Doc Ock.
Yep.
The Goblin we assume is Willem Dafoe, maybe based, but it's hard to tell if that's his laugh
Or James Franco.
someone else. Oh my god!
I can't imagine Marvel would want or Sony would with everything that's been said regarding James Franco. I would imagine that studios would stay clear right now.
You would think so.
So I'm gonna go with William Dafoe based on politics.
Why did they just recast Dave Franco?
Oh god.
Works too.
They look similar. You know?
They sound similar.
But Dave is shorter.
So
So it
give him
doesn't work.
shoot up.
Shoot up.
Put him on a box when he's standing. Tom Holland is also short.
Yeah, that's true.
So
But Spider-Man isn't supposed to be the tallest guy. So it works.
Do you guys think it would be weird if Venom? Let's get into the reckless speculation of the after credit scene. But if Venom does show up in this movie and he is part of the Sinister Six and a straight up bad guy, especially because so much of this movie, the Venom symbiote is like, let's be heroic, let's eat bad guys. Obviously, he's more of an anti-hero vigilante type of
well, what did they call
Individual?
themselves at the end?
the lethal protector.
Right.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
So maybe they
So-
view Spider-Man as something bad.
but
or at least an obstacle.
I guess so.
Well, here, reckless speculation, right? So,
Yeah.
like, here's the thing, reckless speculation-wise, if we go down the path and think that the symbiote Venom has a connected hive mind across multiple dimensions, and let's say Venom is aware of what's just happened and they are in the prime Earth or whatever, then he could see Spider-Man as lethal because he caused, in a
that's
way, this dimensional jump or whatever,
Yeah.
and that's bad. So therefore, be lethal and remove him.
We also have to address the other elephant in the room, right? Isn't there
Don't
an
talk
Eddie...
about Ripley like that. She's a
Sorry,
dog.
She's not an elephant. I'm sorry, Ripley. The other elephant. The other elephant.
Mm-hmm.
There is already an Eddie Brock character in Tom Holland's world, and he's a very different person.
There is?
Isn't it that kid?
No,
Eddie?
that's not Eddie Brock.
It's not,
He's,
I thought his
uh,
name was Eddie.
He's Flash Thompson.
Oh,
That's Flash.
Yeah.
Good call.
No,
The
no,
Flash.
You're totally right. You're totally right. Yeah. I
There's
fucked
no,
up
as
there,
far
yeah.
as I know, there's no Eddie
you're
Brock
right.
that's been introduced in the MCU version of,
That's
of
Flash
Spider-Man.
Thompson.
But we have gotten obviously an Eddie Brock in the Tobey Maguire movies.
played by Topher Grace.
Topher Grace, good old Topher.
Topher. I hope he shows up. Can you imagine? Tom Hardy and Topher Grace team up.
They're both pretty, small guys.
Yeah.
What?
Topher Grace and Tom Hardy.
A lot of actors in Hollywood are shorter than you would expect.
Yeah.
Most
Short
infamous,
and thin, like it's
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
yeah.
He's
It's-
probably the most famous short man.
You have to be anorexic to be in Hollywood.
That's not true.
Yeah.
You have to have a big head, like both ways, figuratively and literally. Interesting.
So real quick, based on this scene, we see Tom Holland. Comic Book reported this yesterday afternoon on Tom Holland's Twitter. He put out,
Oh no,
tonight's the night. Can't wait to see this. Congrats at Andy Serkis, at Tom Harry, and at Sony Pictures. It's Tom Harry is his Twitter handle.
Interesting.
Weird, but cool.
Excuse
Congrats, yeah. And at Sony Pictures, are the rumors true? And then it's the emoji, the sly winky face.
See, he already ruined it himself.
So
he's already implying shit like, oh man, that's just.
I guess the next question is,
it's funny.
how do we think this happened?
Tom.
Like, how do we think they shifted over?
Well,
Because
I think
it's preceded by the
Kevin Feige met with somebody over at Sony, had a suitcase with a loaded gun.
Oh my god. No. No.
You're talking about in universe.
Yeah, I'm talking about in universe. So
I'm talking about the real world.
the scene that precedes. It's just money and that the studio's talking, but within the universe,
like a case of money.
within the universe, within the universe.
Real quick, I know when you said it's just the studios talking, I imagine it's like, I am a representative from House Sony. I am a representative from House Marvel. Like, very, foundation. Like,
We'll do death by combat. It's like Amy Pascal versus Kevin Feige.
oh, boy.
But so they're having the conversation about their multiverses, and it's like, all right, show me all this knowledge, and then he thinks he shows him, and that's what does a shift. And Venom's like, what? No, I didn't do that. What the fuck just happened?
But maybe it's because Venom has also proven to us as a character that he's a loser. He's also kind of like an idiot.
Right.
He's not the smartest light bulb in the shed or whatever. Brightest light bulb in the shed. Yeah. Smartest light bulb. Anyway.
That's another Rabbiism.
So it's very possible he did do that and didn't realize he did that.
Also, some people just have power to jump universes.
Fuck it.
Yeah, they're like, man, what a power. Oh.
But it is interesting that the moment in time that is taken to is seemingly the end of Far From Home and potentially the beginning of No Way Home, with the trailer kind of redoing that scene. So I don't know. Do we think this is due to what Doctor Strange does? Do we think this is potentially due to what Loki does?
I like
this is something else.
I like your explanation. Sony just put up their middle finger and said, fuck you to your timeline. Hey, Marvel, you figure it out.
So you know that infamous Spider-Man meme where it's the two Spider-Men, they're pointing at each other?
Yeah.
I imagine right now us fans of all of this crap, it's basically Wanda standing there, Doctor Strange standing there, Venom now standing there, and it's a couple other people, and Kang standing there, and Loki, and everyone's just pointing their fingers at him. You started it. And then above, it's just Marvel needs more money.
It's like just Kevin Feige just like he's writing notes in a notebook. He's like, I'm trying to figure this shit out and I can't.
So here,
like that.
Fun fact. This is an actual fact, but you remember that scene where you see Carnage is like Cell or what was the character's name? Casey.
Cletus.
So you see a cell and it's all like scratched with blood. Yep. That's basically Kevin Feige's room when he's trying to figure out Marvel.
Man, yeah. He's actually in a mental hospital right now, just like
it's like it all connects.
He's already
like, wait till you see Eternals.
Yeah. He lost his mind already.
Do we think now their Eternals is going to be somehow related to Spider-Man, like just to make it more relevant?
There's going to be a scene where one of the characters in their living room, they're eating a bowl of cereal. The camera pans up from the cereal, and then you have the classic 1970s animated Spider-Man and Amazing Friends playing on in the background. Why? Because fuck everything.
Yeah.
Because remember when Captain Marvel came out, the whole press, the whole thing that was done, like this character is super important. She's going to be important to Endgame. She's going to be the key to defeating Thanos. Blah blah blah. And then everyone.
It was
saw
love
the movie,
that defeated Thanos.
And it was a prequel, and we're like, okay, fine, whatever. It's an origin story, but it's going to show up in Endgame. It's going to connect to Endgame. It's going to be huge. It's going to be important. And then it wasn't.
But that was media exploding it. I don't think Marvel.
No. That was Kevin Feige and company, very much like they did with WandaVision. Paul Bettany and everybody knowing that the media would eat it up, saying the right things to the right people, the right amount of times, of being like. How many interviews did Kevin Feige do where he said Captain Marvel is the most powerful being in the MCU? He did a ton of interviews saying
But that's not really that's just that's a fact.
Yeah, that's like
You know, like they have power rankings
He's
of.
still building up that.
No, of course.
They're
I mean,
building up the importance.
reason-
of
that's
that
literally
character.
his job, though.
right.
Yeah.
Like his job is to sell us to go and spend
And then the media's job
2
is to blow
hours
it
of
out
our
proportion.
lives. Yeah.
Technically, everyone did their job.
Yeah, everyone did a great
We did
job.
Our job.
Yeah.
we all
We are Venom.
we are media.
Before we get into
Yeah,
bold
we're
predictions for just Spider-Man in general, real quick, one of the things I was excited about the new Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, was it was announced a while ago that Eminem would be returning to do an original song. Now we all know the classic rap song that he did.
Should we all sing it?
I don't actually remember the lyrics.
Venom.
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 Very complicated.
Venom.
So he did a new song for this movie, and unfortunately it.
Can you call it a song?
It flies well under the radar.
It's horrible.
It's actually the second song in the post-credit or in the credit scene, and it's not very good.
My verdict: not a banger.
No, not at
Was
all.
the song
banger at
better
all.
than the movie?
The original song?
No,
that he
but
did.
new song.
No.
If you had to pick, would you pick the movie or the song?
The song because it would be over quicker.
Yeah, that's true. The song is puts you out of your misery far sooner.
Eminem announces 2.5-hour cut of.
Hey, you guys know how Eminem's part of the Super Bowl halftime show for the
Yeah.
next Super Bowl?
Yeah, and
Super Bowl
Kendrick
57?
Lamar is too.
He's just gonna do the Venom.
Oh God!
Let There Be Carnage song, he's gonna do
What
it
a
twice.
sellout!
And then Tom Hardy's gonna show up as Venom.
And Tom Hardy's going to replace Tom Brady.
Oh,
in
they're
the
gonna
butt.
use 5G and they're gonna live, do the CGI of the symbiote live. That's gonna be the big thing for this.
basically redoing the rave scene.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
gonna be live. 5G.
Yeah, you could be
we've
anyone.
solved
Just
5G.
because you say live on 5G doesn't mean shit.
It's been solved, Ravi. It's been solved.
What is
live 5G live. Okay, let's hear your bold predictions, guys. Bold predictions for specifically. Let's like hone it in here because we know the next Spider-Man property that's coming out is in December. It is Spider-Man No Way Home. So give me a bold prediction that ties in Venom and No Way Home. Paint me a picture.
I mean,
Venom will die.
No, I want like scene headers, description of action,
Act 4, scene
and
3.
camera movement. Go ahead. Let's hear it.
Oh, me first?
Yep, go ahead. Go for it.
My bold prediction for Spider-Man No Way Home is
With
that,
Venom.
With Venom
and Venom. They're gonna change the title.
is that he will appear for less than 30 seconds.
It's the 30-second cameo.
It's a
That's pretty good,
30
actually.
30-second cameo. People will lose their minds and be like, that movie was a waste of time. And everyone will be like, we told you that 2 months ago. But there'll be like that section of people that were like holding out hope that he was basically going to be like the third star of the movie. But it's going to be at most a scene, likely an after credit scene,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yep.
Maybe it's comedic where Venom shows up late,
Yeah.
right, to the whole battle. And he's like, where is everyone? It's going to be something stupid like that.
So my bold prediction, and mine unfortunately will take about a year to either come true or not true. But my bold prediction around Venom, because Venom is just the newest thing in the hype train that is building up No Way Home. And my prediction is going to be that a year after this movie has come out, the three of us will sit here and say, when we look at the Spider-Man trilogies, the Tobey Maguire and the Tom Holland, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3 is significantly better than the Tom Holland Spider-Man because it's going to just be this insane hype train that falls flat on its face and that has way too many characters and too many things happening.
I'm getting a bad feeling about it.
And nothing is going to
I'm
nothing's going to
feeling-
really be focused in on. It's just going to be a clusterfuck.
But I will say this. We have no idea what this movie is kind of going to be about.
No, we have no fucking idea.
Which is actually
Wait, don't we?
interesting.
No,
Don't we have an idea?
all we know is that Peter Parker wants people to forget, and then he keeps talking, and then the spell's fucked up, and then they're flying on trains and Inception stuff.
Yeah, so we know a lot already. That's quite a bit. I mean, if we're going off the trailer, right?
But arguably, I think everything we've seen in the trailer is like the first 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah, which sets up the whole movie.
No, it's the first 2
so
minutes.
therefore, you know the whole movie.
That's the
That's the
exact
first
cut
what?
of it.
2 minutes.
Wow, if that's the
Verbatim.
first 2 minutes, I am not looking forward to it.
Christian, your bold prediction, and I don't think you can top mine.
Bold prediction. I mean,
Christian, go bold. Say Spider-Man will die.
I was actually gonna say Venom shows up and eats Aunt May.
oh, that'd be awesome. No, I think Toby. No, not Toby Maguire. Oh, actually, that could be fun. Yeah, let's do it. Toby Maguire, Spider-Man, will take on the symbiote and be Venom for a little bit.
That's kind of cool.
Like and they'll recreate the infamous dance scene, but maybe it'll be like Eddie Brock's voice as Tobey Maguire's dancing or something.
And it is the director of this is who is the director of this?
Of what?
Sam Raimi.
No way.
No, Sam Raimi is doing Doctor Strange.
That's okay. Sam Raimi's doing Doctor Strange.
But it's the same guy. It's the director of No Way Home is the guy who did Homecoming and Far From Home.
And that person's name is
I forget. I unfortunately forget what his name is.
Andy Serkis.
But it's the same. It's the same director who's done the other Spider-Man movie. John Watts.
It's John Watts.
A voice in my head told me.
Who the fuck is that?
John Watts, born in 1981 in Colorado. He's a director and producer known for Cop Car, Spider-Man: Homecoming, and the Onion News Network.
Oh, he worked for Onion?
The Onion.
Looks like it. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Oh, good luck. You're gonna need it.
He also did a movie called Clown.
Ooh, that sounds like a real good movie.
It looks like a ripoff of Halloween.
Cool. Aren't they all?
It's good. It's an interesting bold prediction. I like it. I like it.
I just threw shit on the wall.
That's basically
exactly
what Carnage was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we get there to the very last question here, we grew up with Carnage in the 90s Spider-Man. Is it what you would have imagined Carnage to be based on what we've seen in an animated form for real life?
I think they tried to go for some of the aspects that were obviously in the comic too, especially with the Cletus character being crazy, being this criminal,
serial killer.
Being a crazy criminal essentially, and it didn't work obviously, but they didn't try to drastically change the origin of the character,
right?
Just being kind of this crazy psychotic individual. I don't remember the exact origin of Carnage within the 90s Spider-Man movie, exactly how he became Carnage.
There was Dormammu's wizard guy with the green cape, whose name I can't remember. He went or found the symbiote planet and pulled a piece of a symbiote to Earth and then gave it to Cletus and was like, hey.
So he didn't come off of Venom.
I don't believe so,
show.
no.
Venom's my father.
And I must eat him.
Honestly, I've never really liked Carnage.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of boring to me. Like a psychotic kill, I'm like, it's like the laziest kind of villain you can do, right?
Right.
Just psychotic kill, I want to kill everything. Like,
Venom's
puts
much
me to
more
sleep.
interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So I didn't like that Carnage, and so I would say it's very faithful to I don't like this one either. It's
I
just,
still didn't like it.
Actually, my favorite Carnage is in the Nintendo 64 Spider-Man game.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
it becomes it's Doc Ock Carnage at the end, the boss. That one's pretty cool.
I think the only way to make an effective Carnage movie is you can make it a true horror movie, right? Which they obviously, this was not a horror movie. It's not even close, right? But if you the most effective Carnage movie would be straight up horror.
Yeah, and this movie was rated PG-13, and you could tell why. I mean, there was no blood at all.
No
I don't
stakes.
think there was no. It was just a bunch of like bodies flying around.
Yeah,
there were a couple of stabby stabs here.
Yeah,
Do you
but
guys think it was weird that they only fought once, Venom and Carnage?
I'm glad
they
it was
only
once.
meet and fight at the very end. They never meet or fight before that.
Because that's because the previous encounters are just when Eddie Brock and Cletus are meeting. Like that's who cares? I'm glad it was only once. Would have made it longer. Would have made it a longer movie. So thank you, Sony, for.
It's weird because like with the meetings that they had, they were definitely kind of they were going for like the whole like serial killer talking to a reporter cop vibe.
Those are like some of the worst scenes of the movie.
Oh yeah,
they're like the very first one where Tom Hardy is like, Cletus, tell me why I'm here. I was like, what? Like it was so weird. Like he was just there, and he's like, it's like
Why
if
are
you
you
think
coming
about
here?
like what happens in reality, he had to walk in, right, and then he starts with like that. Like it's so weird, right? And they've already met. You know that they've already met from the after credit scene of the first Venom. So it's just like, what? Like,
Oh, see, I don't even remember that.
And then the line.
so Woody Harrelson. We already knew
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson was going
He's
to
in
be
the
Carnage
after credits
from the
scene.
after credits.
Of the
Wow.
first Venom.
See, I missed so much.
I'm just like, what?
And also, like his very last line was like, I was just trying to be your friend. And the man's like, fuck this guy, and then bites his head off. I was like, what? What was the point of this movie? I don't.
What did you
get
guys
it.
think of
I
when
don't get
he
it.
goes to a gas station, bashes that guy's head in, and then uses his Carnage tentacles, hacks the internets, and gets into the police stuff and finds all the secret files.
Maybe Carnage was the AI that they needed in the fucking Bad What If episode, because apparently he can do that.
just from a regular gas station laptop.
Yeah,
Easy.
yeah. The Watcher should have had them go after Carnage apparently instead of the Nazi doctor AI.
It's that time.
It's that.
Krisha, you should start us off. You haven't done that in a while.
Wow. Okay. Ravi, was Venom Let There Be Carnage good?
No.
I like
shocked.
the dramatic pause.
Very shocked. Yeah.
Arjuna, was Venom Let There Be Carnage good?
We've done 179 episodes.
You say this a lot.
Of was it good, right? And we've never defined on the show, and maybe it's the beauty of the show, what good actually is, right? It's very
open to
subjective. It's
interpretation,
subjective to the
yeah.
three of us. It really varies from episode to episode, movie to movie. But I think
Person to person.
person. But I think I can definitively say this might be the worst movie we've reviewed, or a thing we've reviewed on Was It Good?
Oh,
Definitively no.
Wait. So what was the second worst?
Star Trek
Star Trek
Discovery.
Season 1?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the very first one we ever did. I think.
That was a bad one.
That was
awful.
a terrible one. No, did we do Star Trek Picard on here?
No,
Oh, well,
Wait, you never did Star Trek Picard?
I don't think we did.
Oh, I am shocked at you.
Yeah,
Shocked.
This is up. Like,
Shocking.
I think this is maybe one like the worst thing we've done.
we should go and look at our master list and see.
We should.
Triple Frontier.
I like Triple
Someone
Christian
here,
likes.
someone in
So
the panel likes
therefore-
it.
So yeah, so
So
basically
therefore,
that one
by
sits at a
definition-
33%.
Maybe
No.
we'll do that for the end of the year, or like first episode of next year. We'll go back through some of our we'll do
No's?
our top 5 worst movies or things
Ooh,
we've
I like
ever
that.
reviewed.
I like that.
Rank them.
Do a supercut.
Krishna, thank you for your time.
Thank you for not asking the question.
Was Venom Let There Be Carnegie good?
Now that sounds like a good movie. No, no, it wasn't good. It was dog shit. In fact,
Wow, that was just one word
I-
impression.
I just want to point out. I want to point it out to you both right now. I had no intention of going to see this movie.
That's true.
You were like, "We're going on Thursday." I'm like, "Great, I'm working. I'm not going to see it." You have fun trying to review this thing. You moved it to Saturday so that I was like, "Oh, I should probably go see it," and I hate you for that. I
I will
hate you.
actually take what you both said just now, and I'll take it one step further. We shouldn't have even bothered, reviewing it because it was so
We
bad.
should just cancel the podcast, the whole podcast.
Yeah.
This is really making me rethink
Do you
everything.
think? Do you think this is one of those movies that's so definingly bad that we should rebrand ourselves as "Was It Carnage"? Because that's a much more dramatic question
That is,
than "Was
yeah.
it good?"
Yeah.
Was
Is
it
this-
Carnage? Was it whatever we're seeing? And it's not like was it bad? It's on the Carnage Venom Carnage scale, right? How bad is the movie? Like, is it?
It's a good scale, yeah.
Is this as bad as when we had to do the Rise of Skywalker podcast twice?
Oh my god!
That was a living,
was-
that was a fucking nightmare.
that was physically painful
Yeah.
because we had to do it twice in 2 different days.
Yep. That was a pain. And with that, goodbye. We are leaving. Thank you for listening. As always, we do these pods twice a week. Our next one is actually going to be this coming Tuesday. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Was It Good to find out what we're discussing. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Was It Good Pod. We are also on YouTube where you can watch the full shows and little breakdown cuts at youtube.com/wasitgood. Check out our website, wasitgood.info, our newsletter with the Gala review.
Gala.
The Met Gala is coming just in time for the 2022 Met Gala.
The fuck?
Goodbye.
Let there be carnage, Arjuna.